It's April in Otago, and once again the city of Dunedin will host the opening rally for the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. New cars, new teams, and the return of international drivers after 3 years away. 2 days of competition promises to deliver challenge and drama before the climatic end on Sunday afternoon. Hayden, first round of the championship, obviously welcome to 2023. You've got the Rally 2 car here. Just tell us your thinking behind running that car in the championship this year. Yeah,
obviously our plans changed a little bit in the off-season, so we had the opportunity to run a dual program with the same car in Europe and here, and it made sense to keep the Rally 2 car here after Rally New Zealand and use this. Obviously it's a good car and we enjoy driving New Zealand stages, but also use this car and program to help what we're doing overseas as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how it compares with the AP4 on these stages, and it's obviously a well-balanced and well-prepared car. It's just probably lacks a bit in top speed, which you need on the fast stages.
Emma Gilmore has the Citroen C3 and has teamed up with her friend Claire Mole.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, if you said I'd be tuning up here in a year's time with a new car, I would have been pretty excited and not believe you. So it's amazing to be here with a new Rally 2 car, new to me anyway, and also to have Claire here sitting beside me. So it's always great, the Otago Rally being the first event that kicks off the season, you know, seeing everyone again, seeing the cars all looking brand new. Yeah, looking forward to it.
The strongest challenge to pattern was expected to come from 2022 runner-up Ben Hunt.
Thank you.
Ben, obviously second year in the car. I know you haven't done a lot of miles over the off-season. Just tell us through how much you have done and what are your expectations for the year?
Well, I don't do any miles in the season, so nothing's changed. But we gave the car a quick shakedown about 5 a.m. Wednesday morning, and it didn't fall apart. So yeah, no, it's awesome. It's hopefully we've sorted a few little issues that we had in it at the end of last year and go over clean rally.
Welcome once again to the city of Dunedin. Enjoy the rally, enjoy the camaraderie, enjoy our hospitality. Here we
go. Otago Rally has many roads to choose from. For this year, Saturday will be the roads west of Oamaru, 130 kilometres north of Dunedin. Included is a shortened but still challenging Nzrc Pass. Sunday, the rally will run south of Dunedin, based at Lake Waihola, and finishing on the iconic Kuri Bush stage. The first competitors on the road are the Subaru Impreza H6 Rally Challenge cars. These cars, built by Magnum Motorsport, are an ideal stepping stone to four-wheel drive for drivers like Tim Smith. Smith not taking long to find the pace, and he led the H6 teams through the morning stages. James McDonald was firmly second of these cars until losing time in the afternoon with electrical problems. That allowed the experienced Southland campaigner Paul Cross to overhaul him into second. McDonald also dropping behind Nick Marston, and by day's end though he'd got back in front and was third. Of course, these are not the only cars in the Rally Challenge, and on stage 1 it looked like Jonty Brenzel was going to be hard to beat, but a crash on stage 2 took him out. That handed the class lead to Jeff Ward in the Impreza, and Ward held off a strong challenge from young driver Zeal Jones. After apprenticing in a two-wheel drive Impreza, Jones now has four-wheel drive and much more horsepower at his disposal, and a new co-driver after Dad Austin Jones found the pace a little hot. He held second despite an off on stage 4, but damage to his radiator saw him retire in the afternoon. Brian Green had decided that his Mirage AP4 was a bit too hard to drive at his age, so returns with a car he's more familiar with, the Evo 9 used by Bryn Smith in 2022. Green won stage 6, which was the power stage for the Rally Challenge, and was happy at the afternoon break in Duntroon.
And Brian's been telling us for a while now, he's not a young man anymore. The AP4 cars, you really have to grab them by the scruff of the neck and make them work. They don't have the electronic differentials like you see here in the earlier Evos, and that really allows the driver to be smoother with his inputs, less aggressive to get the performance.
Yeah, well, as it is, we're actually going slightly better based on the results of this rally so far than what we did in the Mirage. The Mirage is more like a go-kart with a roof on it, and you sit on top of the gravel and you wobble around and you never get a rest. And it's probably made for somebody a lot younger than me, who can really get the best out of it. Whereas this car here is a lot more comfortable to drive. You get on a straight piece of road, you don't have to fight with it just goes straight down the road. Rides over the bumps, it doesn't just about shake your helmet off and that type of thing. So we've been very lucky to be able to get this and put something together.
And that's how things should have finished, with just the super special tarmac stage to run, but
not for the first time, the Otago Super Special stage bites.
luckily Ward managed to get to the finish line and took the class win, with Green in second and a very happy Tim Smith in third. Coming up, the road's open for Paddon, the Nzrc 1 cars to stir up the dust. We profile the Nzrc 2-wheel drive cars. Hayden Paddon has dominated the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship in his Hyundai i20 AP4 car, but now switched to WRC2 meant a new challenge for New Zealand's only full-time rally competitor.
There's quite a few subtle differences that really achieve a very similar performance between the AP4 and the Rally 2 car. The Rally 2 car runs a slightly smaller turbo restrictor, which gives it less power, but it's a more refined chassis package.
A stage time of 11:29.1, already faster than his previous best.
Centre of small crest.
Ben Hunt did not have a great WRC event, but a new season brings new confidence for the Skoda driver.
Left tights to keep in 5, 80.
But a time of 35 seconds slower than Paddon, a wake-up call.
6 right tights, 5.
And speaking with Ben at the service park after the first group of stages, he was really lamenting that lack of pre-season mileage.
Ari Pettigrew a few seconds faster than Hunt, and that would be second place on the stage, as no one could match Paddon.
Ari had a standout year in 2022, really announced himself, and unlike Ben, he's been doing a lot of mileage over the off-season.
Emma Gilmore hoping a new car would deliver results. Claire Mole's Scottish accent certainly bringing an international feel to this pairing.
And Emma and Claire first worked together about 15 years ago. They reconnected during the COVID period when Emma was stuck in Europe and did a rally as part of the British Rally Championship in an R5 car. So it's not unfamiliar to them.
A solid problem-free start for Emma would see her arrive at service in 5th, just 7 seconds down on 4th place Rana Horan. Horan had only done a few kilometres of rally sprint as a build-up to this, but he's a tough competitor and wants to be a serious threat to podiums in 2023.
And you'd be a fool to bet against him doing that. Rana is absolutely a tough competitor. He's a strong businessman during the week, and this is his release, but man, he does it well. And he has to, because his 14-year-old son is an up-and-coming star, and I'm sure that he'd be keen to kick Dad out of the seat at a moment's notice.
Jack Hawkswood now paired with Jeff Kress, steady through the morning to place just 2 seconds back from Gilmore in 6th.
And Jack, this is only his second event in this car after Repco Rally New Zealand at the end of last year. So it's an impressive performance.
80.
Todd Borden and Katrina Renshaw in 7th, another new pairing, and this was their first time in the car together.
One of so many new pairings. I can't recall a time where we've had so many new combinations in the car, and it all takes time to adapt to, so it's a solid way to get underway.
It might look the same, but Robbie Stokes' Fiesta AP4 is a new car, with the mechanicals transferred from the 2022 car. The aim this season, speed and reliability.
And as well as leaving no stone unturned with the car, this is another new driver-co-driver combination. With Dave Neal jumping in the car, Dave's got plenty of experience and he'll bring a different dynamic to the team.
If there's a Ford, then close behind a Holden. Josh Marston taking the fight to Stokes, and under a second separating the 2 Canterbury drivers after 3 stages.
Minus 30.
2 more Toyotas in the mix. Hayden McKenzie in 10th in his Yaris. His engine the same as Jack Hawkswood's GR unit.
And Hayden's been a big improver over the back half of last year. He's really becoming a genuine contender in the New Zealand Rally Championship.
Sorry, was that?
Tightens to a long 5.
Yep.
Long 5 right plus 120. 6 right, long 5 left over small crest.
A totally different Toyota AP4 for Mike Young, though. This is the car that missed WRC New Zealand due to shipping delays. Luckily, the Cusco team in Japan have elected to leave the car here in New Zealand for at least the first 3 rounds. Andy Martin next in his Polo.
And Andy now has got almost a full season under his belt with this car. He's also another one with a new co-driver. This year, Rocky Hudson jumping in the right-hand seat.
Richie Dalton back from Australia in a Skoda R5, but this crash took him out on stage 2.
Obviously, unfortunately, just missed the don't cut in there, and it's about the world's most solid fence post.
Dylan Turner's Audi AP4 had fuel pressure issues. And a turbo failure forces Matt Jensen out after stage 1. Still going strong, Clinton Cunningham in the oldest Skoda R5.
And this car actually finished on the podium at Otago last year in the hands of Rana Horan. It's a great weapon for Clint. He'll take a little bit of time to get used to it after a bit of time in the Polish Protos, but it's a good choice.
The international contingent following with plenty to learn in the new cars.
It's fantastic to welcome Eugene Crunet back after the COVID layoff in the AP4 Mirage.
And Pierre-Henri Brunet in one of the Force Motorsport AP4 Mazdas.
So as they reach the first service, Hayden Paddon holding a comfortable lead over his protege Ari Pettigrew, but that battle between Ben Hunt in 3rd and Todd Borden in 7th is going to be a cracker.
Hayden Paddon was stretching his lead through Special Stage 4, while behind him Ari Pettigrew led the chasing pack. Pettigrew had made gains over Ben Hunt, who was only 8th fastest through the stage. The gap between 3rd and 8th, just 11 seconds. Emma Gilmore 3rd fastest, that closed her to within 4.2 seconds of Rana Horan, the top 5. This would be the final stage for Hayden McKenzie, caught out by a bank which then saw the car launch to a violent roll down the road. This, the awarded Hella moment.
Crest 80. Then a 6 right plus over crest. 6 left, 6 right.
You right, mate?
Yep.
Hit the okay?
Yep.
A clutch bearing failure in the stage saw Mike Young miss Special Stage 5 and head straight to service. Stage 5, Smiths Road, another 24-kilometre long test before the second service in Duntroon. So what is it about Hayden Paddon that sees him pulling away from the field again over the afternoon stages?
There's one word that really sums it up, Budgie, and that's commitment. Just check this out.
20, quick 3 right plus, flat 6 left, 30, back crest 150.
Even Emma Gilmore, who's paid to drive for McLaren in Extreme E, has nothing like the seat time that Paddon has had in the lead up to Otago and for the rest of the year.
Although Emma has been doing a little bit, she's actually taken to running off-road go-karts. You might not think there's a heap of correlation, but any time in the seat is important for these drivers. Especially when you come to this rally first up, and just look at how on it you've got to be, how fast these roads are.
8 left continues with a crest, flat 150.
For drivers like Ben Hunt, rally is a part-time occupation which they pour all their effort and professionalism into. Drivers like he and Rana Horan are giving inspiration to another class, the Rally New Zealand 2 cars, which are driven by young, aspiring drivers. Ford Fiestas have been the mainstay of this class. It was where Ben Hunt learned his craft, and more recently has been dominated by Dylan Thompson in an older ST150. But the car is ageing, and Thompson will soon take delivery of a new Fiesta Rally 4. Jackson Clendon's Rally 4 Fiesta is the next generation, powered by Ford's amazing 1-litre turbo engine. He held the class lead through the morning stages, with Thompson just unable to match the pace of the new car.
It's great to see Jackson back out on the stages. We saw him up till Timaru last year. Unfortunately, he had a crash, and budget and supply issues meant that he couldn't get the car fixed until just before Rally Otago. But he did participate in the FIA Rally Star program and performed with merit. He turned a few heads overseas.
Jordan Grant has the only Suzuki in the class. This is a New Zealand-built car, but similar spec to the Fiestas.
It's great to see the Kiwi can-do attitude taking on the factory-built M Sport Fords. This car's probably got a little bit more top-end power and speed, not quite as refined.
Bryn Jones is also moving to a Rally 4 car, but for this rally had borrowed a Fiesta R2. He was being careful to finish in a good points position without damaging the borrowed car, but enjoying the car nonetheless.
Away at things, just trying to get through today and getting some good points. So, but no, I'm loving it. Loving the R2. It's pretty much a childhood dream of mine, and we're just enjoying ourselves.
Tim Mackesy, the final car in the class, also in a new Fiesta, putting up similar times to Jones in his first full season. Of course, they weren't the only two-wheel drive cars, with the open two-wheel drives attracting another 5 entries. So Dan Haynes would lead the group in his Escort. It was the entry of Irish driver Glenn Alcorn which has created most interest. Alcorn is based in Perth, Western Australia, but is pumped about coming to compete in New Zealand, especially these Otago roads. He stopped on stage 2, losing 7 minutes, but got going again and began a big fight back. Stage 2 also saw the end of JP van der Meijs, who crashed within sight of the finish line. So that left the flame-throwing RX-7 Turbo of Peter Farrell in second. Of course, this is Rally Otago, the best classic rally in the world, and 3 Nzrc drivers were competing in that classic rally, as well as the New Zealand historic class. John Silcock was back to defend his title in his Group B RX-7.
And that historic battle last year was an absolute highlight. It was absolutely titanic amongst the 3 front-running cars. So John starts as the favourite this year, but he's certainly not going to have it easy.
Stuart Reid has competed in this class in Escorts, but the Australian driver has recently purchased this RX-7 from Richard Kelsey, a beautiful replica of Rod Millen's Rally USA car. Stuart was partnered with Bella Haggerty.
And at just 15 years old, we saw Bella last year co-driving for her father, but it's great to see her stepping outside the family tree as she looks to advance her career. She's already done some testing with some of the biggest names in New Zealand.
And Tim McIver in a BDA Escort, keeping the Mazdas honest. He'd finished the day second, 50 seconds down on Silcock, with Reid another minute back in third after a trying day. Welcome back to the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. The afternoon would finish with 2 classic gravel stages before the Tarmac Special in Dunedin. Special Stage 6, Danzy's Pass, a favourite, although it had been shortened this year, still a formidable challenge for the crews.
Long flat 6 right open straight, switch 40, quick 6 left minus.
This is wild landscape, which just days earlier had been blanketed in snow. There's little forgiveness if a driver gets it wrong from the rocks which lie on the roadside.
And just looking at that shot, it's fair to assume that Hayden's not taking in the spectacular views that this road is so famous for, that draws tourists in from all around the world, year by year.
Quick 5 left plus, 60. Press 10, quick 5 left open straight, into fast half 4 right plus, okay. 50.
Ben Hunt was battling an inner ear infection, now starting to challenge for second place despite it. His stage time here, 11:51.4. Ari Pettigrew had built up a margin in the morning stages, but here he was only equal with Hunt. And once again, the next 6 cars separated by less than 30 seconds. Rana Horan 4th on the stage and 4th overall. Emma Gilmore less than 2 seconds slower in 5th.
And one thing that'll be giving Emma big confidence to push is the reliability of the Rally 2 cars. They're literally tested to destruction, and every part of the car has a lifespan on it. It's going to be a refreshing change from a challenging time with that previous Suzuki.
70.
Also great to see the Ken Block tribute livery on the Citroen this year. Ken was a big part of New Zealand rallying. He spent a lot of time down here and was a very, very popular figure with competitors and fans alike.
Hawkswood, Marston, Borden and Stokes all within seconds on the stage and in the results.
And this has been a really mature performance from Jack. We've seen him really come of age across this event. Bet he wished we'd edited that bit out though.
In the cockpit, Todd Borden and Katrina Renshaw working well on their first event together.
And for Katrina, it's not completely foreign. She did do a season with Regan Ross in an R5 Fiesta. It's great to see this team working so well together, having never sat in the car before this event.
Long 6 left, 150.
Josh Marston getting up to 8th here, passing Stokes.
For Josh, he's just not getting in the groove today. There's nothing he can put his finger on. It's just not working.
But Stokes on a solid run here as he and new co-driver Dave Neal concentrate on results. It's been a big change for Robbie with his sister Amy now running the service crew, while Dave Neal brings his years of experience co-driving with Marcus van Klink.
Now obviously for Robbie, 2022 was promising but frankly disastrous. Unfortunately, pretty well everything that could go wrong did. It's been a big reset from the whole team, and it's great to see them racking up the miles and looking to a really consistent 2023 season.
Dylan Turner and Matt Jensen had rejoined after service, and while they were out of contention for the results, still had a great battle together, separated on the final gravel stages by just a few seconds. Clint Cunningham and Andy Martin had been close all day in the battle for 10th place. Both drivers relatively inexperienced with these R5 WRC cars, but rewarded with reliability.
It's quite fascinating that the two cars that pretty much come out of the same factory, the Volkswagen and the Skoda, but they've got quite a few differences between them, and yet the performance is still very similar. It's great to see Clint and Andy having this fight.
The Nzrc has a touch of exotic this year as we go on board with the team from New Caledonia.
Droite 5 au croisement. ...120 mètres, droite 6 moins long, 180 mètres, 180 mètres, droite 3 au croisement, droite 3 au croisement, 60 mètres, gauche 6 point, 30 mètres, gauche 6, 200 mètres après.
Stage 7, Shag Valley, is short at under 9 kilometres, but packs a real punch at the end. Another great day for Hayden Paddon, just seems to be getting faster and faster. But a late scare for Pettigrew, who had a suspected head gasket leak at this stage, but still in second place. Ben Hunt comfortably ahead of Rana Horan. Emma Gilmore survived this scare early in the stage to finish in 5th ahead of Hawkswood.
4 left plus, 30, caution, short right 4 minus, opens narrow bridge, short 3 right.
Sorry.
Okay, next corner, short 3 right.
It's just the steering wheel doesn't feel amazing.
Flat left 40, crest 150.
And the battle between Robbie Stokes and Josh Marston finally going Stokes' way. But what of that sting in the tail? Check these moments out.
Welcome back to the opening round of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship as we recap the opening day's results. You can see Hayden Paddon pretty much 2 minutes clear of Ari Pettigrew, nursing his car home just ahead of Ben Hunt, with Rana Horan, Emma Gilmore, Jack Hawkswood, Todd Borden all in hot pursuit.
The rally now returns to the stages south of Dunedin, concluding with the awesome Curry Bush stage in the afternoon. But a dramatic start on the opening stage of the morning. Waipori Gorge runs alongside a river before heading into Berwick Forest. Todd Borden having a great start to the day after finishing 7th on day 1, but late in the stage he was caught out.
And he's not the first. This is an awesome piece of road, but it has absolutely caught out some of the legends of our sport in years gone by. Unfortunately, Todd's joined that club.
With the stage blocked, assessed times were given to the following competitors as they headed to stage 10, Berwick Forest. "29 kilometres through Berwick is always a challenge, and this year the drivers face slippery conditions with heavy showers at the start of the stage, but dry at the end, however. Paddon again the driver to beat on day 2 with bonus points up for grabs for the top 5 finishes for the day.
And while the bit of road they're on here looks like a perfectly formed, nice, fast-flowing gravel road, what the drivers had come from earlier in the forest are tracks with grass growing up the middles and pine needles all across the surface. And then you add a bit of water in there, and it is absolutely treacherous.
Flat left, 30, max 6 right, K120, fast 4 right minus.
Tyres are massively overheated.
Yeah.
Coming down the hill.
With Ari Pettigrew nursing his engine, Ben Hunt had a chance to gain on the Holden driver. He certainly has the upper hand when it comes to these conditions in a 4-wheel drive car. But Pettigrew's engine was holding on and he was just 2.8 seconds down on Hunt here. In fact, both Rana Horan and Emma Gilmore faster than Hunt on the stage by the smallest of margins.
5 left plus, 90. 6 left minus, hug. Short 7 right, tights 5 plus, 40. 3 right. 5 left plus, 6 right.
Vantage Rana by 0.6 of a second over Gilmore. Unlike 2022, Robbie coming through unscathed, unlike Jack Hawkswood, who was stuck off the road. Mike Young had rejoined for day 2 points after his day 1 disappointment, passing the stranded Toyota of Hawkswood, who'd slid wide on a corner.
5 right in, 40, 5 left long, hug up, then 5 right more, opens, 300.
Josh Marston close behind and comfortably ahead of the remaining 4-wheel drive cars. Matt Jensen, another to rejoin. The car now responding with power to have him leading Clint Cunningham. Cunningham managing his pace through the forest. His finishing record at Otago not great in the past, but with this Skoda, he has a chance to change all of that.
It's also a great opportunity to check out the varying conditions that all these drivers are going through. You see here, mud. Now we're back down to a little bit more of a swept surface. Then you've got to watch out for a bit of clay, a bit of water hanging around, all these little things.
Still maintaining a lead over Andy Martin, the VW WRC2 car, as well as the Audi AP4 car of Dylan Turner. And in the battle between our two French-speaking competitors, Eugene Crunet here, holding an advantage of Pierre-Henri Brunet.
Pierre came to Rally New Zealand, and it's great to welcome him back again in 2023. He's leasing the Force Motorsport Mazda for this event, while his Ford Fiesta Proto is built, and he'll campaign that for the rest of the season. So not a heap of movement in the results after Special Stage 11. The obviously notable omission of Todd Borden, but that battle between Rana Horan and Emma Gilmore is hotting up.
5 drivers started day 2 in the Nzrc 2-wheel drive class. Unfortunately, Jordan Grant crashed out on stage 10, but he was not alone. Dylan Thompson and Berwick at the same point as Jack Hawkswood. But unlike Hawkswood, Thompson was able to dig the car out and continue. So Jackson Clendon took the day 2 lead and controlled to lead the overall class in the Fiesta Rally 4. The R2 Fiestas of Bryn Jones and Tim Mackesy battling for the overall and day 2 podium.
And Tim had a bit of a tip over on the first day, so he's another one that's in fight back mode along with Dylan Thompson now.
Thompson was trying hard to make up the lost time, and by the final stage he'd regained 3rd overall in the class. Mackesy held on to take 3rd in the day 2 standings.
And those standings are important. The top 5 in each class get bonus points, 7, 5, 3, 2 and 1. And those points could become quite important when we get to the end of the season.
Bryn Jones and Claire second on both day 2 and overall, so a great result in a loaned car and a positive start for season 2023.
And the news gets better for Bryn because his new car is here and will be at Rally 4A.
But Clendon showing the way and maybe signalling the start of a new era in this class as the older cars are retired and Rally 4 becomes the car to beat. 4 cars left to start on day 2 and open 2-wheel drive with JP Vandermees and Peter Farrell rejoining, Dan Haynes and Glenn Alcorn continuing their battle. While Haynes had led day 1, it was Alcon who led on every stage on day 2. The Irishman had sorted problems and was untouchable on the day 2 stages. And making it worthwhile, he took the fastest time for the class in the Curry Bush stage.
Top 100, one left, big crest, 100 for a 3 right. Repeat, 3 right into a 1 right over the crest. 3 right for a 1 right. One right into 1 left over the crest into a flat 1 right.
Peter Farrell and JP Vandermeys might not be equal to the fast escorts, but had a great day swapping stage times and battling with each other. In the end, it was Vandermeys who prevailed to take 3rd for the day.
And JP's moved into the open 2-wheel drive class this year because he's got a new car on the way, a later model Fiesta with a 1600 turbo. It should be quite a weapon.
Competition in the historic class was tighter on day 2, but events in the morning would decide the outcome. John Silcock held a narrow lead over the first 3 stages. But Stuart Reid fought back on stage 12. Unfortunately, that's where the day would end.
Stu's a very experienced competitor in Australia and New Zealand nowadays. It's great to see him in an RX-7 and taking on the historic battle. Unfortunately, Saturday's action saw him have a few problems with the car. The exhaust fell off. It was incredibly noisy, amongst other things. But on Sunday, the car had the team running right, and Stu was able to show the pace that he's got. He actually took a stage win out of John. So this is going to be a fascinating battle as Stu learns the car as the season goes on.
Tim McIver crashed out on stage 12, but it was another crash in the classic field on stage 13, which would end the competition for the historic class. John Silcock's co-driver Donna Elder is a paramedic and was called on to help an injured driver. That meant that as the stage was neutralised, both Silcock and behind him Reid were given assessed times for the remaining stages. So it was Silcock that took the win. Conditions perfect for the final stages of Rally Otago. Another stage win for Hayden Paddon, setting up a perfect score with just Curry Bush to go.
I mean, once again, you've proven that you're the best rally driver in New Zealand.
Well, look, we're here to do our own job, so we've just been trying to keep it neat and tidy. Just driving our own rally, really, so we're trying to learn more with the car. So we've been trying quite a lot of different setup stuff and just trying to get more out of it. But, you know, obviously Ari's been doing an amazing job this weekend, which is really awesome to see for the whole team. And then obviously Ben and Emma and everything. So it's definitely no mean feat, like, in terms of, you know, we still got to keep our wits about ourselves and keep pushing. And, you know, we're always trying to find more.
It's been an interesting day. It was a lot more technical, the stages this morning, and I didn't feel as comfortable in the car, so I was kind of surprised by our times actually, but it's encouraging because there's still more to come, and still making changes and adjusting the car, just trying to get the most out of it. But the car's feeling great, and it's just that Berwick stage was very hard work this morning.
He could have cruised to the finish, but it's an all-out effort by Paddon to secure the win and break the stage record.
And what you're seeing here is just an absolute lesson in car placement on the road. Understanding where that grip's going to be and putting the car in the perfect spot every time to maximise the corner speed.
Ahead you over finish. Long 5 left plus. 35 right. That should do it. Just.
Not much in it though.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Good job.
Hayden, you got to the end, another very dominant performance. Don't think you put a foot wrong all weekend. How pleased are you?
Yeah, obviously there's always pressure on when you got almost nothing to gain in all these rallies. So in terms of the pressure from others, so to come through and get another win is awesome. But huge credit to our team. I say it every year, but our team's just getting better and better, and the girls and boys are doing an amazing job. So I can't do it without them, and obviously John, another faultless rally. So yeah, it's awesome to come here and make it 10. So.
It was Ari Pettigrew's pace on day one, and his drive to keep going with a damaged engine that saw him finish the event in second overall.
5 right minus, tightens that exit.
Ben Hunt did score second on day two, but third overall, and 4 power stage points sets the Skoda driver up for the season ahead.
Keep in 7 left minus 30. Keep left over long small crest down 20. Keep in long 5 right 80. Finish very long 6 left minus 30. Time. Time just 3 seconds quicker.
After a strong performance on day two, Rana Horan 4th overall, but also a chance to really come to grips with this WRC2 car.
Yeah, first race out, absolutely. I've had a good weekend and I haven't put any pressure on myself, so stoked as.
A late scare for Emma Gilmore on stage 14 with a puncture.
5 right minus 150.
But no problems through the final stage, and for the first time in many years, it's a complete Rally Otago for Emma and a great 5th place.
Flat 150.
Emma, you're smiling, you got to the end of the rally, you've banked some really good points. I think it's the first time I've interviewed you at Curry Bush for a fair few years. How relieved are you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. They were great stages today. It was, yeah, we had Rana in our sights, but we got a puncture at the end of the previous stage. So, yeah, so just sort of getting through there, but it was good fun. It was a great weekend.
Josh Marston and Robbie Stokes next, and separated by just 3.5 seconds over the 2 days. Robbie Stokes, another competitor who would be happy to finish the event on a strong note. Dylan Turner, Matt Jensen and Mike Young all finishing day two after restarting in the morning. But all came away with 0 points, so a lot of work to do at Whangarei. Clint Cunningham kept ahead of Andy Martin to take one of his best NZRC rally finishes in 8th. And Eugene Crunet taking 10th place in the AP4 Mirage, despite visibility issues when their wipers failed.
And so confirming those results, Hayden Patton leading home, Ari Pettigrew, Ben Hunt, Rana Horan, Emma Gilmore, Josh Marston, Robbie Stokes and Clint Cunningham. And those Dave bonus points and power stage points really valuable for Ben Hunt, just 1 point behind Ari Pettigrew in the battle for second.
Next up, it's Rally Whangarei, round 2 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship on May 12 to 14.